Hello guys and welcome to Legacy IAS. Today we will look at the news about Amazon and Flipkart who have seemingly breached the antitrust laws is what the Competition Commission of India is saying. So what is it all about? What are the laws protecting such breaches? We'll see all that, but let's just understand what is happening over here. So a lot of us would have shopped sometime or the other on either Amazon or Flipkart, and you can just try this practical thing right now also, specifically with certain products. Like for example, just open the app, let's say Amazon app, and type, let's say, natural mouthwash. Okay, either type this or let's say type a proper organic brand which provides organic skincare products or organic mouthwashes, etc., which does not have any chemicals and it is not a top brand. So write that particular brand name and that particular product that you want and search it on Amazon. You can, for example, you can any brand name XYZ, and here would be, let's say, XYZ rose water. Just an example, XYZ rose water. Now what will happen is, even if you have written the exact brand name and this product is present on Amazon, the first result will not be this. If you look for natural mouthwash over here, the first results will not be the natural ones. In fact, even for mouthwash, if you exclusively write the brand name, let's say ABC mouthwash, if you type, you will not, even if it is present, this will not be the first search result. You will start getting Listerine, Colgate, etc., etc. Okay, now sometimes it would be written sponsored, or Amazon from the Amazon Basics, which Amazon's its own product, or sponsored, or let's say bestseller. That is a different thing. If you're putting a bestseller on top because it was bestseller without any benefits or biases provided to them, fair enough. If someone is advertising on the top and then the search result is there, that is also fair enough. But here what I'm talking about is this ABC would be 4th or 5th number, and 1, 2, 3 would be some other commercial top brands which are having chemicals which are not actually good in reality. But since they are of top brands, they would come high above the search order, even though you have specifically typed the particular brand name. Now, what is happening here? This is nothing but the biasness in favor of these brands and biasness against this brand which we just type. Now, this is what Competition Commission of India has observed and has come up to say that they have breached the antitrust laws. Now this actually Competition Commission has observed, but a lot of people, including me, have observed this thing happening. So let's see what actually happened. What is the news? Recently, the antitrust investigation was conducted. This is a breach of trust. So it's an antitrust investigation which you conduct. It was conducted by Competition Commission of India, which found that these two aggregators, these two e-commerce platforms, they violated the local competition laws, that is the antitrust laws they had violated. How they have violated? By doing exactly what I have just explained over here. They have done, they are offering there are other things also, offering exclusive launches. Exclusive launches, that means this particular product is launched only on our platform, you will not get it anywhere else. Giving preference to select sellers, this preference to not just the product but also the select sellers. So I am not just let's say giving you Listerine at the top, but Listerine may also be sold by, let's say, MNP, these different sellers. So I am giving preference to, let's say, seller P every single time, right? And then at the bottom you will find other sellers, and sometimes other sellers may have low price also, but still it would prefer this seller. So biasness in favor of certain sellers, Prioritizing certain listings. This is what we discussed in detail. Certain listings. You're typing something, something else is only showing even though the product is present. If the product was not present, of course it will not show. But even after being present, it goes down even when you have specifically searched. That is the bias. And so 3 types of things: exclusive launches, preference to select sellers, and prioritizing certain listings is what has been found out by Competition Commission of India. Now, so they have basically said to have prima facie broken the antitrust laws. Now, what are these antitrust laws in India? The first one is the Competition Commission Act, Competition Act, that is Competition Act 2002, which was amended in 2023. What it does is it fosters competition. How do you foster competition? You will be able to foster competition when there is a level playing field. You cannot give someone a higher platform and someone a lower platform and say that you are allowing them to compete. No, there needs to be level playing field. That is why you should not be giving preference to one over the other. Unless, of course, if I am spending on advertisement, then yes, you may see my ads on Amazon also. But you are not advertising, I am not advertising, but my product comes above yours, even though your product was specifically searched. That is against the fair competition. So, fostering competition, protecting the anti-competitive practices. This is an anti-competitive practices, because here person is not buying a product because of its competitiveness, but because it is showing first in the search results, in the search listings. Abuse of dominant position, very important. This does not just happen in e-commerce, it happens on offline stores, like for example, offline things, for example, the projects, the big brands that are there, they are dominant. Since they are dominant, they can use money power, muscle power and whatnot to keep their dominance and let the other people, stop the other people from budding up or rising up. And it also regulates combinations. Combinations means a company taking over the other company, a company amalgamating or merging with the other company. So they will realize whether that should be allowed or not. Why amalgamation, mergers and acquisition should also be regulated? Simply because, just take an example of the mobile network or mobile service providers. So let's say there are 10 different companies. Now, if 5 companies merge and finally become 1 plus 1 only 2 companies, this is an issue. This is a duopoly. Only 2 companies would be there. So competition would cease to exist. After some time, it can so happen they may combine to be only 1 company, and that is an issue. Because since there will be only 1 company, then they can sell at whatever cost they want to, and we have to buy because we don't have any option. So options should be available. That is why even mergers, acquisition has to be regulated. Not just for that, it is also need to be checked that is the merger in good faith or it is simply an overtaking of one firm by another to ensure that there is no competition in the future. So all these things are checked, which comes under the Competition Act. Now, there is a Consumer Protection E-Commerce Rule 2020 as well. So it basically puts the liabilities of certain things on the e-commerce platforms. Liability for what? Liability of ensuring a level playing field, avoiding any promotion to sale of any produce, trying to deceive you to buy certain things, even that should not be there. So not use deceptive practices to influence consumer decisions. So e-commerce platforms cannot do that. But certain products are actually doing it. For example, if I give you an example of deceptive practices. So there is a company called as Kisan. So Kisan Fresh Tomato Ketchup. Now you may think this ketchup is made up of fresh tomato. No, it's not the case. What they are saying is, this is the name of the ketchup. Like you have Maggi ketchup, XYZ ketchup, spicy ketchup, Zing's ketchup. In the same manner, this is Kisan's fresh tomato ketchup, and they are not claiming to provide this ketchup made up of fresh tomatoes. It is just the name is what they are saying. But they write it in such big words at the front page, you think it is, okay, fresh tomato. Even the label, the name is written on the front, but that may not cross your mind. So this is also can be sort of a deceptive practice when you are naming itself such that it shows sort of a quality of the product, but actually it is not a promise by Kisan to be providing ketchup of fresh tomatoes. It is just the name. So this is a type of deceptive practices which is done, sort of a deceptive practices. Whether it is or not, if the case is taken, then it will be decided by the jury, by the court, right? But prima facie looks like a deceptive practice. So that kind of practices need to be avoided, right? Then of course there are certain restrictions on operation of e-commerce. So what are the restrictions? So for example, no seller can sell its products exclusively on any marketplace platform. So if I am a seller, I cannot be exclusive to only one. It can go either way. I cannot be exclusive in the sense that Amazon, for example, cannot tell me be exclusive to this marketplace only. No, if I want, I can sell it on other market platform as well. All vendors on the e-commerce platform should be provided services in fair and non-discriminatory manner. Again, same way, if you are a seller, I am a seller, we are putting our product on e-commerce platform. So if someone is searching, it should not be discriminatory against you or against me. It should give results based on what was searched. Services include fulfillment, logistics, warehousing, advertisement, payments, financing. So all the things that a seller would require to sell the product should be provided by them. Okay. Now, there are certain other restrictions on operation. So there is a restriction on purchases by vendors. So there is a limit of 25% purchase. So any vendor who purchases 25% or more inventory, then that vendor would not be considered as a separate entity, but as the platform itself. Okay. So vendor purchasing 25% or more of its inventory on e-commerce group company, it will be considered to be controlled by that company. So if I purchase something from an e-commerce company, e-commerce group of companies, so I will be considered as that company itself. I hope that is absolutely clear, because I will be considered to be controlled by that e-commerce company itself, and hence I would not be allowed to sell. Because I as a vendor would not be allowed to sell. This would be considered to be me getting controlled by the e-commerce company itself if I have purchased 25% or more. Now, there are different models offering e-commerce services. One is the inventory model, and the other one we will look at is marketplace model. Right. So in inventory model, what happens is the goods that are present is owned by the e-commerce platform. So in inventory model, the goods and services is owned by e-commerce and sold directly to the customers. Now in this, FDI is not allowed. FDI is not permitted in this model. Why FDI is not permitted? Because see, this is the thing with this is e-commerce entity. E-commerce entity can be a foreign entity, right? If you allow FDI in it, then the foreign entity can directly own the things and sell it to Indian customers. So there will be a full-fledged control, not just of the platform. Control of the platform is fine, but the products also would be owned, controlled by the foreign entity, and they may be selling foreign products, not giving preference to the Indian products. So the Indian industries would be hampered. The small brands, a lot of brands are foreign brands, that's fine. But the thing is, there are small Indian brands also which cannot provide you huge discounts which these big players can provide. So that will hamper these small players. That is why FDI is not allowed in the inventory model. Right. When it comes to marketplace model, what is it? In marketplace model, the product is not owned by the e-commerce. The product is owned by a small Indian company if it is selling directly, or a seller who is selling it, so on and so forth. Remember, it is not owned by the e-commerce company, right? So e-commerce company in this case will just be a platform provider, technology provider, aggregator, that is all. And because of that, 100% FDI is permitted under automatic route. Automatic route means you do not need specific approval by ministries every now and then. It is automatically approved. So this is what issue is going on, and we have certain rules and regulation in place That is why, Competition Commission of India was able to identify this, and certain actions would be taken, and in future how to avoid that would be taken care of. So let us see how it pans out, what actions are taken, how it is implemented, and in the beginning what exercise I asked you to do to check it for yourself. You can probably do that and check it for yourself. Thank you.